Yes, folks. Hello. Today I'm very sober today, and you will understand why. Nobody will tell you why. You know, before I start, let me mention one thing. According to the, should I say, idiotic prophets and idiotic prophecies in Ghana, they are telling us that God is a joke. Let me repeat what I said. According to the idiotic prophets, with their idiotic prophecies, what they are telling Ghana is that God is a joke. Sadly, the sad part of it is that there are many people who are listening to them with rapt attention, listening to their nonsensical prophecies. And the bottom line, all they are saying is that God is a joke. I'll be talking about that. But before then, let me remind you that this is TALKSHOP, where we tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may. And we always say that truth crashed to earth shall rise again. Today I want to look at something, but it's something we have all seen, folks, is the flooding that has consumed Ghana and Accra. And I started by talking about the prophets. Listen to this, folks. They say God is talking to them all. That's what they say. And they are telling us that God is more concerned about World Cup results. God is more concerned about results of World Cup. And so that's what he's passing on to these needless prophets. World Cup matches scores. And can you imagine? None of them could see or was told that there's going to be a heavy downpour. None of them was told. None of them was told that Ghana, there's going to be a heavy downpour. No. God was interested in World Cup results. They're talking rubbish. 0-1. Yeah, Lord have mercy. But it doesn't pain me. What pains me is that there are people who listen to them. When you watch social media, is just gone awash with stupid prophecies of goals. Now, Ghana, don't you think that these people who are claiming that God is talking to them, sometimes don't you think, say, hey, so we're going to see such floods in this country? God said nothing. Do you see the floods? Well, what am I asking? Do you see the floods? You have all seen them, folks. Look at the destruction. It's so sad, though. My heart goes out to everyone who knows people and all the people whose lives have been lost, property damaged, cars submerged. I mean, unthinkable horrors have been visited upon us through rainfall. And in all of this, none of your nonsensical, idiotic prophets who are making noise saw it all. They saw World Cup scores. I don't think I should dwell too much on them. Today, I just want to look at the floods. But you all know about the floods. Just look at some of the visions, some of the pictures that have come out in areas. Look at cars that have been submerged in water. Look at an area like Circle. Holy Moses. Look at the devastation. Look at people sitting on rooftops. There's one picture that I don't want to show because it's so painful, of this baby that was drowned. I'm sure you must have seen it on social media, but I chose not to show that particular scene where a baby who was drowned in the water because the whole kiosk that he's living in was floating in the river. Can you imagine the pain, the horror? Oh. And we see this all the time. And folks, it is very, very sad what has happened, though. What has happened is very, very sad. But what is even sadder is that to happen again. What has happened is one of the saddest and the most tragic moments that we have seen in Ghana history due to flooding from rain. We have never seen the likes of such horrific scenes ever. So sad, so tragic. But my dear friends, what is even sadder and what is even more tragic is that we will experience this again. We shall. And when it comes, then there will be footage of the people who are being who are being drowned. There'll be footage of cars that have been submerged. There'll be pathetic footage, and we share it all over the place. We'll complain and those who choose to make it political and whatever. But the point is that we shall go back to these scenes again. We have seen these things before. It's just getting worse. The amount of rainfall is increasing, and unfortunately, the amount of waterways that were available have now been blocked. You watch. So as the minute this rain ends, people are going to buy lands in waterways and build houses. That's why Accra is choked. The minute the rain goes down, we're going to go back to the same thing. Where the town planners are supposed to be mapping up the town? Where are the laws? There are laws in the books of Ghana that say that if you build in a waterway, even the Metropolitan Assembly has a right to pull down your house, plus give you almost 4 years imprisonment. As a law. So why do we go through this every year? I'm sorry to say this, but sometimes I think that these are the times where I am reluctantly forced to think of the inferiority of our thinking. That's what it all boils down to. Inferiority of our thinking. When we talk about strategic thinking, sitting down, planning, this is plan A, this is plan B, this is plan C, and actually coming with a solid timeline to develop, you won't get that in Ghana. Adwin enye papa. What I hear is that the NPP and then the NPP, we got almost 4.4 billion to fight the floods. Great. There's nothing wrong with voting money to fight the floods. But let me tell you how we think as Ghanaians. So, where did the amount come from, the 4.4 billion? Somebody else, 4.4 billion. You can fight the floods. What exactly are the line items that we are fighting? Because when you're fighting floods, the first thing we have to tackle is even what we call waste management. We don't have waste management in Ghana. No proper waste management too. What we have in Ghana is not waste management. It's called pick and dump. Go there, you pick the garbage and go and dump it somewhere. That's our waste management. And when you pick and dump, what happens is the water will bring out all the filth you've been dumping. Take a look at this. Look at this filth, folks. Look at this filth. Look at this dirt. Look at this trash that is flowing. Look at it too. Wow. And let me tell you something, folks. Sometimes we see things like this, and then the general think, hey, Charlie, Accra, they are filthy. Accra is dirty. Folks, The city cannot be dirty by itself. It is the people who live in the city that are dirty. We, the people who live in the city, we are dirty. So we should stop saying Accra is dirty or Kumasi is dirty and Away is dirty. No, just say the people who live in Accra are dirty. All of us. Because we don't have the sense to really plan and implement things that make sense. I live in a neighborhood that is pretty decent. Some time ago we were under, I think Zoom Lion, they were picking and they no longer come here. Then some other one came in, I think it was called something which I don't even remember. None of them are working now. You know what's working? Aboboya. So Aboboya comes to all these so-called wealthy neighborhoods, the Traxaco valleys and the what have you, and they come and pick the trash and they go and dump it. Pick and dump. And when you see all this trash that is coming, that you are watching right now, this is trash that were picked from all over Accra, residential areas and what have you, that were sent to landfills because there's no place to, there's no waste management. Pick and then go and dump it there. When the rain comes, then the rain brings all of them back. And that's what you're watching now. This is a result of pick and dump. This is a result of a country that does not have a waste management development system. Anti-waste management has it. If you're really serious, we have to think about, look at this dump. Who is causing this dump? It's the people. Yeah. And when I heard JM at some point said that human behavior is also a part of the many reasons, that's not the only reason, but the human behavior and our disrespect for a healthy environment is one of the reasons.
There's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains, putting all kinds of items in the drains after we finish creating waste instead of sending it to the appropriate place.
And people tell it politically, oh, he's blaming the people of Ghana instead of doing something about the flood. That is not the issue, folks. The issue is this, that we don't have a waste management system. Yes. You go to Abuja now, you go abroad right now, and then when you see the garbage can, the garbage bag in front of Bola, there are 3 separations. They have one for bottles, they have one for paper, and one for general trash. There are 3 separate compartments. This is the bottle, you put it here. If it's paper, it goes here. If it's just general trash, it goes there. Why? Because somebody's going to come and pick, and the waste management, they're going to take it to certain areas. Bottles, bekoha, even the bottles, when you return them, you get paid. So there are people who walk around making sure that all bottles are correct. Let's stop. I don't want to go there. But we don't have a waste management system. You eat and you throw it out. All of us. They don't care whether you live in Traxaco Valley or whether you live in some bone dogs in Fabodebe to Chok. We are not thinking like we have an environment that we need to protect. So, Jim, you have a big job. This is what the resetting should be touching on. Our behavior. Understand this too, that our behavior alone will not prevent flooding. No, it takes a whole lot more. We need a good waste management system. We need a very effective drainage system. Then we need a behavioral change in terms of how we throw things around. We need to stop the galamsey. Summer Boy is drenched, the whole place is soaked now. You have no idea the role galamsey played in that. It's going to continue to play in other areas of drowning galamsey. Listen, you can't fight nature. Trust me. You can't fight nature. If you think that you are exploiting the galamsey and then you're making money and you are destroying your environment will stand up one day. That's what we have just started to begin to feel. And if we don't seriously tackle this problem, I mean seriously tackle it too. I mean, Mahama was flying in the air, the president, looking down and seeing all the areas that have been destroyed. Yeah, he's the president. He's looking down on all the areas that have been destroyed. Now the big question is, next year, will he have to go up and look at all the areas again? We can't stop flooding. That's called force majeure. That's something that comes naturally. They sometimes call it an act of God. We can't stop it. But if we have a good waste management system, if you have a good drainage system, if you have good behaviors, we can minimize it. Honestly, we can. But we are that kind of people. Yemplanio, 4.4 billion. The waste management, whatever, stop flooding, and then boom, it goes out. You go and sit down, you get the Auditor General to come and see how many buildings came out of that, how many V8s were acquired out of that, how many new buildings were made out of that. Go and look. And then we suffer and we drown and we cry. There is something fundamentally wrong with our thinking, folks. And until we get to the time where we accept we shall continue to suffer and suffer and suffer. People are buying waste. They buy the waste, they burn the waste and convert the waste into energy. Into waste I'm telling you, bone and crab can be burned and converted into energy. So it's just that we are not there yet. Our thinking is not there yet. Our thinking is on the level of how much budget can we vote for this and how much of it can we use to buy our flashy cars. So that when I go to the funeral in my village will say, hey, Chele, Unkwame, Unkawodem. Is it thinking? So please, folks, I'm going on and on and on because I think we have seen enough of the floods. Look at the pictures that you're seeing. The losses. This one who sells, I think she sells a watch and something. I think she got hit by the floods. All her rice is put. The losses. You look at the woman, how she suffered to get to where she is, and in a twinkle of an eye, everything is lost. It's painful. The sad thing is that, will it stop? No. The sadder thing is that it will continue. What kind of a people are we? And every year we go through the same thing. Then the sons will come and then we'll do the same mistakes because nobody wants to enforce any law. Laws are there to be enforced. All the handful and the chiefs who have lands and have gold sitting on them, more handful, you chiefs, some of you are partly responsible for this whole galaxy thing that is destroying our environment. Man, everybody wants to become a landlord. So everybody wants to build. And they don't mind building anywhere, including in waterways.
But then there's also the engineering and the man-made causes. That is, like I said before, Accra is built between two natural bodies, the Kwapim mountain range and the Atlantic Ocean. And before Accra was built, the streams used to flow through this plain to reach the sea. Now, the British brought the capital to Accra, and in those years it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But at the same time, look at how we can identify all the buildings that are obstructing the waterways. We've said this many times. I'm tired of hearing it. But anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing.
Even though there are laws that shouldn't happen. Don't we have urban planners? Where are urban planners? What, they collect local fuel and then give you the land? Where are they? And what happens to them? You know, you talk and go back and forth, and you realize that at the end of the day, everything boils down to one thing. We are very, very irresponsible by nature. We are greedy by nature. We are selfish by nature. Because it's only greediness, selfishness, and irresponsibility that allow people who are supposed to be planning the town sell land that they know is designated as a waterway. It's only greed and selfishness and irresponsibility that will allow any chief or king or king, wherever, to have people come into his territory or her territory to exploit Galamsey and destroy, because they are getting what they get. And they say, Ghana for you, say, abro any be. We are victims of our own selfishness and greed. And I'm saying this, and I'm promising myself that I will not talk about this again. You know, when I was much, much younger, I'll come and talk about things like that. I say, yeah, actually, we are spoken on now. People are going to change. Kokoda. Go and sleep. Everything I've said now, it doesn't mean anything to anyone. Right now that it's raining, someone say, hey, Charlie, KSM was talking about it. It's true. Let the sun come. Oh, Sam Soho. Sam Soho. And in all of this, we Ghanaians are sitting down here and following prophets who are predicting World Cup scores. It is stupidity. It's a point where you realize that our thinking capacity is diminished to a point where it's zero. We count with you know, employing abubuya and things, you know. Our thinking capacity, is very, very dangerous for us. World Cup scores. God is telling prophets about who's winning in the World Cup. That's why I say you are just telling us that God is a clown. Because I'm telling all of you prophets who have made prophecies, you know yourself, I won't mention your names. Every prophet who has made a prophecy about God has spoken to him about World Cup, no. You are one lying, I don't want to use the word bastard, so I will say that. Please let us rethink this major fraud where babies have died. Properties have been destroyed and damaged. You are seeing the pictures.
I saw them new. I saw them kumchacha. I saw them fee new. Sunata sending menina. The property nina, properties nina. These speakers in the messing. I say.
None of this was important to your God. Rather, God was interested in who's scoring what in the World Cup and giving you prophecies. And I don't blame you. More Ghana for or my team. So that's it. There's demand for foolishness, so the supply of foolishness won't stop. So I can say all I can, but the fact is that the demand for foolishness is going higher and higher and higher until it will empower you to do more stupidity. Folks, this thing, I'm saying the last time I'm going to talk about it because the talking doesn't do anything. Actual action will do something. So let's come up with a strategy. Say we are going to build a drainage system. Yes, no, you talk we are building the drainage system. It will cost 6 million or billion. No. Line by line. This is what we're going to do. This is how much length we need. This is how much it's going to cost. This is when we are going to start. This is when we're going to... Detailed. That's what your fellows in the developed countries do. All you doctors, professors, all you people who have lived abroad and outside who come to Ghana and want to say you have got your exposure, tell me if I'm wrong. All of you watching in the diaspora, tell me if I'm wrong. This is what they do. They sit down and plan with mathematical accuracy. And they leave room for error here and there. But the errors have backup plans. That's what they do before they can implement it. You just don't sit there and say, my vote 4.4 billion, what I'm going to, for against flood. Against flood? Which part of the 4 billion is going into waste management? Which part of it is going into how we construct drainages? Why are we constructing the drainage? What is the plan for waste management? We just saw Jim flying in helicopter all over Accra, and when they landed, he gave his impressions on what is happening. We saw that.
Even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are. People have gone to create a waste dumping ground, and they charge 20 cedis for the aboboya to come and fill the waste into the wetlands. And when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it.
What next? We saw His Excellency Akufo-Addo at Odona launching this whole system about we are going to dredge the place and turn it into take a listen.
This dredging, cleaning up is going to take about 6 months to complete this one. Then the Kwale Lagoon itself will take a longer time because that's where we have more composition of material which needs to take a longer time, maybe about a year or two to finish. We're going to have recreational facilities. That is the sea outflow. So along we have recreational facilities, other infrastructure, we can have some hotels will come at the end, and this makes the whole place.
And I could say, go to Odona to see if there's been a slight change there. Nothing. Zilch. Folks, we are sinking as a nation. Oh. That's why I say that when we want to build a nation, then we must all come together and decide, say, Charlie, enough is enough. Let's build our nation. Enough of party way. No, it's about Ghana. Let's build our Ghana. When do we get to a point where Ghana, we have a Ghana as a country that we are sitting down to construct our drainage and our sewage system, that we are changing our stupid behaviors from junking rubbish that is coming back to affect us. Folks, let me end here. And today I'm not going to end in my favorite words that Ghana will rise again. I'm going to end with the new words that I'm begging Ghanaians. This resetting agenda, let us take it seriously. Yes, starting ring. Yes, starting ring to know that when you have some idiots telling you they have the word of God coming to you in terms of who is winning what match, but these so-called prophets cannot even advise people in terms of cleanliness, respect to the environment, and we choose to listen to them, then the worst is yet to come. I hope not. When a baby would treat me say, "Manum sa, manum siu," and I know the difference. So we know what is happening in Ghana now. We know what we have to do. Are we going to do it? Or we're going to stay here and next year come back and show you more sad images of people drowning? It's over to us as Ghanaians. But I still hope that one day soon we can reset our thinking so that we can actually say with pride that this country has the potential to rise again. See ya.